Alright, also look. Ooh, welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, we're going to be breaking down as well as discussing this weekend's main event featuring Ian Machado Garry versus Carlos Prates, and going over my picks as well as my predictions on how I think this fight will most likely play out. And so, with that being said, without further ado, let's get right in to the video. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share so you can help me reach 2,000 subscribers by May. I'll deeply appreciate you. And make sure you join the official UFC Discord, link in the description. Alright, so look, we've got an insanely banger main event coming up this weekend at UFC Kansas City, featuring two of the welterweight division's next up-and-coming prospects, those being Ian Machado Garry versus Carlos Prates. And look, y'all, both of these guys are surging. Both of these guys are both ranked within the top 15, and, to be honest with you, stylistically, this has got to be one of those fights that just screams chaos on paper. But the more I actually break it down, the more I realize this fight's gonna be a chess match, a low-key subtle one at that. And that is why I am riding with Ian Machado Garry to win this fight by either a submission in either the third or fourth rounds, or a clean unanimous decision victory on the scorecards. And look, let's start with what's obvious. Carlos Prates is dangerous, period, point blank. He's the better striker on the feet, in my opinion. Insanely rangy, ridiculous KO ability, long frame, and he's a southpaw. Everything about him just screams early knockout finish. And yeah, if Ian Garry goes into this fight and tries to play the who's slicker on the feet type of game early, it could be lights out for him even before we get into the third round. I mean, we've seen Ian Garry get cracked before. I mean, I'm talking about Song Nan, MVP, and even recently when he faced off against Shitrat. And so when you look at Carlos Prates, he's the type of guy that, without a shadow of a doubt, will make you pay for the silly defensive mistakes. But here's where things get really tricky. Ian Garry isn't stupid. I mean, say what you want about him, but the cat fights smart. He's shown time and time again that he's able to adjust mid-fight, follow a game plan, and use the necessary tools he needs in order to get the job done. And so that is why I believe that in this matchup, he is going to lean heavy on his wrestling as well as his grappling early. He's not going to give Prates the kind of fight that he wants. And moving forward, I believe that that mentality is going to be insanely essential. The improvements Ian Garry has been making in his grappling lately have been insanely huge. I mean, he's not just shooting takedowns and stalling on top, he's actively working, he's finding the back and locking guys up. In his last couple fights, i.e. Shitrat and MVP, I know it wasn't the fight that we all wanted to see, but it was clear as day that the dude's learning how to control and not just survive. And when he gets your back, he puts you in back position. He's calm, he's technical, he's dangerous. I mean, it just goes to show how much he's leveled up over there in Brazil, working with some of the best jiu-jitsu practitioners in the world, in Charles Oliveira, Charles do Bronx, and Damian Maia, respectfully. Now, yeah, I know Carlos Prates stuffed all of Neil Magny's takedowns during their bout or whatnot, but come on, let's be real right now. No disrespect to Neil Magny, but stuffing his takedowns doesn't mean you're Habib-proof. Ian Garry's got better entries. He mixes things up a whole lot more, and he's not just gonna shoot lazy doubles from a mile away. He's gonna set things up. He's gonna go for feints, draw in reactions, and then get inside and drag Carlos Prates down into a world where he can't just use his knockout ability as a crutch anymore. And here's another thing that people don't talk about enough. What happens after that first takedown? I mean, once Ian Garry gets that back control and makes Prates fight the hands for a couple of minutes, it's all gonna start to add up. I mean, do you know how exhausting stuff like that is? Stuff like that's gonna take the pop away from your shots later on. So even when they get back up to their feet, Carlos Prates is going to be slower, he's going to be more hesitant, and now he's second guessing himself because he's now thinking about the takedown instead of just flowing. And that's when I believe that Ian Garry's striking will actually start to shine. I mean, he'll be looser, more comfortable, mixing things up with the kicks and the straight shots, while Carlos Prates, on the other hand, is stuck trying to react and, trying to catch his breath. I believe that reaction advantage, that ability to control the pace and mix in the grappling threat, will be insanely essential for Ian Garry later on during their fight. And then if Carlos Prates overcommits or slows down too much, Garry just shoots again. Maybe takes the back again, and this time, the finish might be there. Let's also not forget that this is Carlos Prates' first ever 5-rounder. Ian Garry's already been there, done that. He knows how to manage his energy and how to push a pace without burning himself out. Carlos Prates, on the other hand, is still a question mark in that department, if you ask me. Add in the fact that, the guy's not exactly living like a monk between fights. Mooking on cigs, chugging down alk, and partying hella. It really just makes you wonder what kind of gas tank he'll have in rounds 3, 4, and 5. So this is going to be a calculated fight where I think Garry's going to be smart. I think he's gonna mix things up early, get Prates thinking, and, start to wear him down from the beginning. He's not gonna fight this fight emotionally, he's going to fight this fight effectively. And I know it might not be flashy right away, but it's gonna work. And once Prates slows down, I think Garry's going to find his spots, whether it's a clean sub after a scramble or riding out the rounds and banking points with control. Now hold up for just 1 second, because the fact of the matter is, MMA is wild. And these guys with the big power always have a chance. There's always that weird type of plot armor type of energy that floats around, especially with these fighting nerds motherfuckers. These cats just seem to win no matter what, and Carlos Prates has had a little bit of that success lately. But I believe that Ian Garry is the type of fighter, the kind of fighter to put an end to that plot armor. I mean, we've seen it already before when he had Shitrat pleading for dear life. So something like that isn't necessarily out of the picture. You feel me? So for my pick for this UFC Kansas City main event, I've got Ian Machado Garry all day long. I think he either gets the submission once the grind breaks Carlos Prates down, or he could win a very clear unanimous decision victory where he controls the action as well as eliminates the danger. I think this is going to be a smart man's fight. And Garry, for all the flash and hype, fights like he's got an ounce of brain cells. That is why I believe he gets it done this Saturday night. But that's all I've got to say for this video. Let me know in the comment section below, who do you guys have for UFC Kansas City's main event between Ian Machado Garry or Carlos Prates? Do you think Carlos Prates can really show his stuff against Ian Garry? Maybe a knockout finish? Or can Ian Garry show us that he's a step above the curb and not susceptible to the knockout threat, and can ride this through to either a 3rd or 4th round submission or a unanimous decision victory? Let me know in the comment section below. But that about wraps up the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.